All right, good morning, guys. So CPI is out here. And here we go. So ES is getting a little bit of a bounce. We got some levels marked right now. Ones that I'm watching here, I should probably go back to that last chart there. It's a lot cleaner. So we did hit a level here, and I'm just going to mainly go off ES right now. It's just a lot cleaner of a chart in general. But you can see right around here, we've got a 6860 handle. Well, we're going to cover, we'll do 70. That was a level I talked about. That has a lot of convergence there. That was the air that we talked about last week. And we're getting a bounce off of 6820. So we have filled out all the air here now on ES. And we have a little bit of a bounce here on CPI. So that coming in well, this says 2.5. It's actually, the expectation was 2.3 to 2.4 from what I can see. But nonetheless, it came in all right. Basically in line, and you're getting a bid. Personally, I would have preferred, I'm just going to move this up here. Personally, I would have preferred like a spike down first to put in some sort of a low. But right now, and we can get rid of this, trying to clean this up here best I can. So these are really the levels that kind of matter right now to me. It's really simple. So you got 20 at the low end here, 35 is a little EQ, 60, 70 to 72, and then like 90, I'm calling it 95. And then from there, you can pretty much forget about all this stuff. I got lines here, I'm going to keep them there, but you can pretty much forget about everything all the way up to here. So if we clear 95, you'll get a mega squeeze up to like 69.30, which is that low pivot there. And then, essentially the back test of this whole structure would be around 50. On 69.50 that is. So it's really simple, and that's the good thing about when we go down like this. It does seem complicated, but it's actually much more simple than it seems, and it's pretty easy to keep it that way. Right now you do have the NQ, and I would have preferred, just before I get to the NQ, I would have preferred something more like this, like what oil just did. Now this is from like 6:30 or so, 6:40 in the morning. But I would have preferred something like that on ES, much more so for about, like this is a 10-minute chart here. This does not look really impulsive to me at all. Like if there was a squeeze, it should just go. It shouldn't really take any time here. So so I don't think this is going to be that easy. But yeah, I would have preferred something like a slice right there, and then that. That would have given you much more legs if you ask me. NASDAQ here is in okay shape. Again, still got to get through. Look at this right here, 24.8. And then you got, if that goes, you got a little bit of a level there above that. But again, nothing really until about 24.9, 24.950. And then, of course, the Russell's green, because why wouldn't it be? So a Russell here, a nice rebound, inside candle there. We'll probably see a little bit more of a rebound. You got gold, silver bouncing here. Silver with a nice little bid there. Bonds, I did sell my TMF finally. I just kind of figure this is a bit of a sell the news. There is some legs up to 90 on TLT, but, I'm up way more than I thought I was ever going to be on that TMF play. So I'd consider buying that back at some point potentially, but we'll see what happens here. I don't know if it takes a lot of negative energy away. I mean, we're not even following through here, so I got to just call a spade at this point. Like I said, I think the bigger risk here for sure is not so much CPI unwind. It's next Tuesday. That's where I think the risk is, especially if we're weak into the close today. I think you have enormous risk. I would not want to hold short over the weekend. especially with puts because of decay. But yeah, I mean that's where I see the risk here really. But right now, and it's kind of interesting how we really just. I mean, like it seems like we were down 15% yesterday, but all we did was go down and get to this this area yet again. So here we are. We'll see. I mean, can we get through this? We'll see. We do have some divergences cropping up now on the hourly. So you do have that starting to set up there on the ES. It's just a divergence. It doesn't mean that it has to play out. It doesn't mean that the market's a buy. And the 4 hour definitely got, pretty, got there. So it can play out here. If we squeezed up and closed at 69.50 ES today, would I be shocked? Absolutely not. Would I be shocked if we went down and hit the lows? No, I wouldn't be shocked at that either. So that's kind of where we're at right now. You can see, we'll take a look here. TLT at 90. I'm just going to show some dealer stuff here. If the VIX gets above 20 dealer levels, especially in negative gamma, you don't want to trust them. That's why I just like to go off of ES when we have this type of volatility. But I will say VIX right now, vol sellers are mostly in control here, definitely below 25. But if we break back below 20, vol sellers will get this market under control much more so. And I think you'll start to see a little bit of an unwind. With that said, SPX here for today. What is today? 13th. 67.50 is down there. I don't know if you can see that. The logo might be in the way, but I'll put it up here. There. So 67.50 is down there. And SPY, it's about the same, but 685 would be kind of your big resistance there. No big info until next Friday. PCE, GDP. Yeah, I mean the thing is though, there's a guy in the White House that likes to tweet though, and he's got 3 days to cook something up. Netanyahu it's still in Washington, I think, and if they come to a peace deal, I would not want to be short over the weekend. And from what I'm hearing, it's gonna happen. I just don't know if it's gonna be this weekend. I know that they're chirping and saying this stuff like, "Oh, we're farther away from peace." I think it's going to happen. Gold and silver are interesting. So yeah, you do have. I talked about this yesterday. I do like that you kind of have this trend line pierce here. Usually, the third hit of a trend line is a pierce. I think gold is interesting here. It's definitely interesting. I would rather be long gold than silver right now if I had to open a position, but this isn't terrible here. Same thing with silver. I know it got hit yesterday, but high or low, and it held 75. I still think right now the path of least resistance here is higher on silver in the short term. Clear an obvious level here. You clear 82, it will squeeze. That's on the futures there. It did get a nice little bid here. We'll see if that can follow through. It's been trading. And again, I think a lot of what happened yesterday, too, I think that was precious metals volatility just spilling over into equities. Because you can't tell me it was CPI related. If it was, and why the hell aren't we right back up right now? Oil had a nice move here. I wish I had traded that. Beautiful sweep there and reclaim. Tozy saying, would stocks like Micron and SNDK falling on rallying confirm a fake upside move? Are they? I don't know. I mean, like, I would just follow the. I would just honestly, I'm just going off the ES levels. I don't really care what anything, because yesterday the Qs were down 2% and SMH we were like one news headline from being green, and that is something that I have never I don't think I've ever seen before that I can recall off the top of my head. Like we didn't even close. I like we closed like at the prior day low. The Sox closed, I think, above the prior day low. Like I've never seen that happen before. So like equity dispersion. I did a video on this yesterday. Equity dispersion is insane right now. In fact, let's take a look at cores. I haven't even looked at it recently. It is I would imagine it's upticking, but it's still at like record lows, basically. Yeah, I mean like it's still at like record lows here. So these indexes are really pinned. And it's just like whenever something big's down, when cloud's down, something else just has to be up. That happens to be the freaking Russell right now. It happens to be memory stocks right now. It happens to be XLP, XLI, XLV, transports, right? Mag 7 getting a little bit. Yeah, NQ inching up a little bit here. So there's a level right there. That should rally above that. It should rally above that. There it is with ES. So there's 60. I think the jaws are going to snap shut next week. Well, after next week, Tozy, on IGV and semis. So I wouldn't want to be long chips here, particularly. Why not silver what? It's just a weaker chart. I mean, you can see you have a lower high here and a lower low versus gold has higher lows and higher highs. It's just in better technical position. That's why. But I still think that, I still think the path of least resistance is higher here, though, in the short term. It should have some sort of like kind of zigzag move like that. You could make a case. I think I brought this up yesterday. I don't remember if it was in here or if it was in the trading room, but yeah, right here. You could make a case you got like an inverse starting to form here on silver. So there's your left, your head, and then your right shoulder. So maybe something like that. Is this? Yeah, I mean this bar right here that should be resistance anyway. So keep an eye out for that. What would get me interested in PLPA? An enormously deep pocket. Have you ever traded PL futures? I don't know. I'd probably use the PPLT though is okay. It's just hard because it kind of trades with both of them. PL looks all right here. It probably does get a bid. I could see it maybe back towards 24. Palladium's a little bit softer. I don't like how it's at the low end of that sell bar yesterday, but it should work up with PL. These are harder to predict too because they're byproducts. But yeah, PL looks all right here. Honestly, it's just easier to read gold and silver. Let's see. We'll probably be stuck at this level here until the open. I'm going to say right now, this is not a good look that we can't get through this right now. It should just be like, if it, trust me, I've seen impulsive CPI moves before. We should be up here right now. If that's it, if shorts are really screwed, we should be up 50, 60 points easily right now. Yeah, maybe. Tesla's kind of a wild card. It has held up reasonably well last couple of days. Actually, like the last week. It was down yesterday, down 2%, which is not much. So looks like it's gapping up just a little bit pre-market here. But yeah, it's been in a little bit of an uptrend here, even with the market down. Not a terrible chart either. Don't love that kind of like failed breakout look, but it's held up fairly well. They're getting SpaceX too. So, but all right, so we'll see what we get here. Just watch those numbers right now. 1, 2, 3, and then I would just like after this, it's like clear for a minute. On the downside here, you got this. I'd say like 6807 is one to watch. I don't think we're gonna trend down today like we did yesterday. And if we do go down, I mean, it'll just be like a grind. But yeah, 68. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Wrap this up really quick here. That's why I said 6807 because the 786 right there. And that could set you up for a divergence too, a fatter divergence, right? So like, let's say we just grind out. Let's say we just have this might be a long day too, guys. This could be really boring. Maybe we do something like this. Just kind of like a lazy rail, and then like later we come in, and hit that 76. You'll probably get a bull divergence off that, which could set up a move for Tuesday. So just kind of going over scenarios here. I don't know. This just doesn't look like it's going to be a high energy day here. If it was, I think it would happen, but I'll gladly be wrong and get a good squeeze going. So, yeah. By the way, Apple, I like it at 260. I liked that. I called that out yesterday. There was this big dealer level there, and we got a $3 bounce off that already. Beautiful move. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up. You guys take care. Don't forget to subscribe to the new channel. We'll talk about this and more. We'll recap the day. We'll go over all that stuff. Join active trader. Join swing trades. We'll see you guys.